Good evening, I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange Live. Tonight, we are live at Strathmore University. They call this the Strathmore Business School. KTN has been doing a series of debates and discussions here, and we decided to piggyback and do JKL live from Strathmore University. And this being a Wednesday, you know it's all about politics, the state of the nation in particular. Who better to bring to the show on a day like this than the best political tag team on TV? That's what I call them. That's what you call them, especially with less than 48 hours before the first ever visit by sitting U.S. President Barack Obama, set to touch down on Kenyan soil Friday evening for a 3-day visit. Yes, he's going to be part of the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, but he's also having a series of bilaterals and a speech scheduled for Sunday. So let's break it down. What does it mean? U.S.-Kenya relations, the works. My man in the middle. He still doesn't have a Twitter handle because he's looking for one that's less than 140 characters. It's okay, as long as you have your dictionary, thesaurus, Wikipedia, Google search, the works, because Dr. PLO Lumumba is in the house. The man on the far end, well, journalist, publisher, political analyst, man about town. He is an expert on Greek mythology. The last time he came on the show, he gave us a word, prebendalism. I'm still trying to look it up. Barack with the 2 R's, Muluka, the other Barack, is on the show. Barack's Twitter handle is at Barack M. Mine is at Koinange Jeff. We are using the hashtag Obamamania. Let's get tweeting. Let's get started. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Tari, we missed you the last time around.
Yes, of course.
Paulisana.
He did a good job.
I found him.
You found him.
I'm around and about, but not about town.
Not about town. Speaking of town, town has been spruced up. Nairobi is looking like the green city in the sun from the 60s. Without the grass.
It can't be green.
It can't be Simon Makonde to be planted on a Monday and to germinate on a Tuesday. Reminds one of the government inspector by Nikolai Gogo.
Correct. PLO, you are not excited, are you? You're not excited that Obama's coming? I'm excited. The whole country's excited.
No, I'm not excited. In a time such as this, what one must be is to engage in reflection and assessment as a country. Because what we must ask at this stage in our lives, what is the actual value of the visit of an American president to the people of Kenya? That is the question that we should ask. Bilaterally, what are we going to gain as the people of Kenya, as Africans? What are we going to gain? The excitement is something that is momentary, but as you know, when I've been looking about this Obama visit, a number of books have come to mind. One of them is Francis Imbuga's Betrayal in the City, and one of the characters, Mosese, says, it was better while we waited. After Monday, what will be the situation? Another book that I've thought about is Chinua Achebe's The Trouble with Nigeria, and what he calls the cargo cult mentality, the belief by backward people that without any effort on their part, their visitor will bring them all the good they ever expected. So for me, it is a time for assessment. It is a good thing that an American president is coming to this country to discuss with the leadership of the country how we can engage as two friendly countries for the mutual benefit of the country. But let us remember one thing. The President of the United States of America, Ronald Reagan, once said, and I agree with him, America does what is in the best interest of America.
Indeed.
And that is what President Obama will do, to seek that which is in the best interest of America. What are we doing in the best interest of Kenya?
Well put, PLO, well put. Barack, you with the same name. You come from around the same place. And Manyuria is not that far from Kogelo.
No, it's not. It's a few minutes as point of
reference.
Yes.
Are you excited?
It takes a lot to excite me, as you are aware, that I am possessed of an inquiring mind and a searching soul, and I must ask the kinds of questions that are perhaps not being asked, the kinds of questions that are too uncomfortable for us to ask. That we are here behaving as has been correctly said, that the government inspector is coming from Petersburg and we are suddenly in a half trying to plant fresh grass, trying to renovate the roads, trying to get the beggars away from the streets. We might as well get a few patients out of the hospitals, as happens in Nikolai Gogol's, the government inspector.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think we have also missed the point, because we are dubbing this thing homecoming. I have seen billboards in the streets of Nairobi saying homecoming, welcome home, President Barack Obama. Now, it's good, first of all, that Barack Obama is coming to Kenya. It is good that we have this global entrepreneurship summit. It is good that it is in our capital city of Nairobi, and that perhaps that gives us an opportunity to start positioning ourselves for enterprise, for investment, for youth development, and those kinds of things. But I think it's a little bit cheeky, if not ignorant, and perhaps even worse than that, or both of those, to hijack somebody's mission to your country and start calling it a home. Because President Barack Obama is the President of the United States of America. He has got some affinity with this country in the sense that his father was Kenyan. But we all know that in these things we talk about motherland. We don't talk about fatherland. Even here in Kenya, we talk about our motherland of Kenya. In the United States of America, they also talk about their motherland of the United States of America. Ultimately, as Chinua Achebe has told us in Things Fall Apart, mother is supreme. That where you are born is your motherland, where your umbilical cord is buried. So let's be happy that Barack Obama is coming to Nairobi, that we have this Global Entrepreneurship Summit, and let's look for the opportunity. What does it signify? What should we think about it? What should we make of it? What should it leave behind for us? Not being excited that somebody is coming home, because nobody is coming back home.
No. PLO, let's face it. If Barack Obama was bypassing Kenya like he did a couple of years ago, going to Uganda and Rwanda, we would be sitting here saying, why isn't he coming home? Why isn't he coming to Kenya?
I would myself not ask that question, because in the nature of things, I understand how states operate. Of course, at that time, when he went to Ghana and to Senegal and to Tanzania, the argument was that the President of the Republic was facing a criminal charge at the ICC, and so was the Deputy President. So we were, in the thinking of many, a pariah state. And it cannot be denied that the United States of America is a major player in international politics and economics, and therefore it is a good thing when the president of that nation visits us. It is a vote of confidence that we are part of the Committee of Nations. So that is something to be appreciated. But there must be a sense of proportion. One of the things that has worried me most is that we have allowed, the newspapers have allowed their headlines to be dominated by things which distract us from the real issues. So that if you are asked, as Barack has rightly said, it is as if President Obama is coming for a homecoming. You saw the kind of excitement that we saw in Siaya, complete with the newspaper pullout from the Siaya government, which is completely misguided.
Yeah.
What we should be focusing on is that we have a global conference here. What can the business people of Kenya gain from the young people of Kenya who are engaged in enterprise? What can we do to position ourselves in the region, in the East African region, in COMESA, in East African Community and IGAD? So to answer your question, one is saying that we as a people, as Kenyans and as Africans, must realize one thing, that this country's economy and politics will only grow if we identify for ourselves what our priorities are, rather than to assume, as I've seen even in some interviews, somebody says that because Barack Obama is coming to Kenya, suddenly our tourism will improve. It doesn't work that way. That suddenly some Americans are going to invest. Because after Monday, the political class in this country will continue what they have been doing things to divide this nation, so that an investor will ask, in the long term, is this the kind of nation that we want to invest in? So we must, as a people, graduate from the excitement that the colonials said about Africa, that Africans are easily excitable. That's what they used to say in the 1800s, that little things excite them. We must demonstrate that we are mature, we know what we want, and we focus on it. And I want to hear my president, President Kenyatta, speaking to the President of the United States in a manner that gives me confidence that my president knows what will improve our health, what will improve our economy, what will improve our infrastructure, and what will make this country better.
Perfect. Well put again, Barack. So if you were President Kenyatta, and he is going to hold bilaterals with President Obama on Saturday, if you were President Kenyatta, what would be on your wish list?
The very first thing would be to share in the challenge of global terrorism, because we have got insecurity around here, and this security is not exactly homeborn, it's not exactly homebred. It has got international and global connotations that, in fact, in the very first instance, when we took the first strike in 1998, it was as a proxy that we were perceived to be the friends of the United States of America, that the fellows who perpetrated that particular attack were actually looking for the embassy of the United States of America, which was a sitting duck right there squarely in the city center, Nairobi, and that that thing has gone through a wide range of permutations up to where we are. And therefore, we can no longer look at global terrorism and say that each country for itself, that we require concerted international agenda to address this issue. And we are a frontline state in that particular regard, because our neighbors here in Somalia are home ground for breeding of this terrorism. That I would look for opportunities for enhanced trade, and you know, I've already talked about security, because without security, really all these other things that we are talking about, enterprise development, cannot happen. That you must have that secure environment first. And then we want to look at the question of trade, but the question of trade goes beyond making pleadings to President Obama. He's coming here with the interests of his country at heart. Part of the issue is, of course, that the Chinese are all over the place, the Indians are all over the place, and they are overrunning the Western world. And so they've come here looking for what is good for them. You need to look at it this way, that this is a global entrepreneurship summit. It's an engagement that is bringing on board other players from other parts of the continent of Africa. In fact, there ought to be more interest in those people than in President Obama, because eventually, if Africa is not going to be able to resonate with one voice, to have a common agenda, they are going to run through you like a hot knife runs through butter. But you can talk about these things, about tourism, you can talk about trade, you can talk about security, you can talk about, as we were told the other day, powering Africa. You can talk about feeding the future. You may talk about even direct flights to the United States of America. Ultimately, I think the only thing that you can meaningfully and legitimately engage the United States of America in is security. All the other things rest with us.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, I want to talk more about that after the break. And also, like you said, PLO, the hangover come Monday, the hangover from this trip. what are we going to gain from it? Or is it because they've realized we have plenty of oil under the ground in Turkana, plenty of gas off the coast of Mombasa and all the way up to Lamu, plenty of natural resources. You know, like you said, what America wants, America goes for.
This is not a philanthropic visit.
No.
No.
It's not time to be philanthropic.
This is hard-nosed commerce and real politic.
Real politic, absolutely. And also, I wonder, how much did that grass cost?
When the Auditor General is through with it, I do not know, I don't want to speculate, but it will be a few million. The grass that never grew.
The grass that never grew.
It's going to grow. It's grown already.
At Barack M, PLO, still looking for a Twitter handle. Mine is at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag we're using tonight is Obama Mania. And that's what we're talking about, breaking down the trip. First ever by a sitting U.S. president. Now, just hours away. We are live at the SBS. That's the Strathmore Business School, part of Strathmore University. The Bench, all the way here, coming to you live. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment.